in the car. Would
Yeah,
you
that
like for
thing.
me to get out of the car and stand under the street light?
No, I do not want you to do that. Welcome to the fantasy show, Double S Project style. I'll let you take over, man.
Take over.
Do what you gotta
What's up
do.
out there? Hey, what's up out there? This is the improv version of the Double S Project Fantasy Football Show. You can't see me, but I can see you, sort of. I'm sitting in the car outside my daughter's dance class, so we're doing things a little bit different tonight. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's what week? We just finished what, week 8? We're halfway through the
I think
season.
so.
Week
Yeah,
9. Yeah,
yeah.
something like
Week
that.
9. Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what. I got one seriously beat up team, man.
Yeah, I bet, man.
You probably seen that, man.
The thing about it was, like I said, with fantasy football, man. All I can say is at one point in time, at one point, you're just gonna put in the lineup and you just gonna walk away from it, and it is what it is. I mean, sometimes you
Mhm.
cannot predict some of the shenanigans that go on inside of the NFL these days.
No.
Just when you think Andrew Luck's not gonna do anything against a Broncos defense, he balls
He
out. I
has his
mean, it
best
just
game of the year, and now he's gone.
and now he's gone because he wants to run through people instead of run from people.
And look,
it's like wife is trying to call me right now. This
Ah,
is like right after right after he has his worst day. Can you hear me all right?
yeah.
Yeah, let me turn this joint off here. Yeah, so yes.
Can you still there, man? Where you go?
Yeah, so yeah, Andrew Luck, he's gone. So and this is a week right after I traded him.
He's gone. Right. Oh, you did trade him.
Yeah, I traded him last week.
That's a good move. That wound up being a good move.
Yeah, so yeah, that I feel, it was a decent enough trade because I was just trying to get a receiver, a fill-in receiver at this
Right.
point because he wasn't doing much. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. You good.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
give me just a second.
Yep.
I got a text.
This is live. Whatever you
This
want
is
to
what
call it,
happens when you go
folks.
live. All right. Hopefully she's just not asking me about dinner or something like that. So yeah, 1 second.
This is crazy.
Uh,
Oh my goodness, man.
okay. How's that? Are we doing better?
Yeah, we good. We good.
All right, all right. All right.
So let's
So
talk
yeah,
some. Yeah, so you traded him off. What value were you getting from him? Because right now, I mean,
oh man, I was so desperate. I just picked up Brandon Cooks.
you traded Andrew Luck for Brandon Cooks. Well, that wound
Look,
up
what
being.
had but here's the thing, what had Andrew Luck done up to that point?
No, you're right, and we're not in the keeper league in this particular league, so I wouldn't. The value doesn't go anywhere. It is not. You're right. You're right. No,
Right.
I'm with
And it
you.
was like a non-keeper league is I mean, basically before the Denver game, Andrew Luck had gotten down to the point where he was scoring almost as many points per game as Jay Cutler.
Shoot, Jay Cutler actually been playing okay, but yeah, I see where you're going with that. I
Yeah,
see where you're going with
so
that.
I can't get on and say I need 3 players for Andrew Luck. It just wasn't going to happen. So
Yeah, yeah, and I think yeah. So no, I think to all the folks out there that actually was able to pull off an Andrew Luck trade here either this week or a couple of weeks ago. Hey, good job, because there's certain
yeah,
quarterbacks out here, man. They just dropping like flies. But I mean,
yeah. I lost in the last 2 weeks. I've lost 4 receivers.
well, obviously, do they all play for the Chargers? Because if you're a Charger receiver, you
You're
can get
done.
hurt. You can get
Yeah.
hurt.
Well, that was the thing. I was so beat up. I picked up Floyd,
Me too.
and he
I
was
picked up
gone
Floyd in
before
my
he
other
got
league.
going.
I picked up Floyd in my other league as a four,
Hmm.
a receiver four. and just like that, gone. And it's funny because the other person, well, another person
Kilt, like a Game of Thrones character.
picked up Stevie Johnson, and I was going back and forth to go, Stevie Johnson. I was like, you know what? He's probably gonna be a little bit more comfortable with Malcolm Floyd, and he was. He threw the ball to him, but Floyd in that, landing on the ground, him in that ground didn't mix. In old age, I didn't
Yeah.
realize he had been in the league that long. But yeah, there's a lot of
No, me
injuries.
neither. Till they said he was talking about this year was going to be his last year.
Hey, look, real quick, with all these injuries to the ribs and to the kidneys, man,
My
it's not gonna.
spleen.
It's in my spleen. It's not gonna be too many areas where they can hit people. You can't hit them in the head. Can't hit them in the feet and the knees. Now you jacking people's spleen and kidneys
Well, it's
and
okay because
ribs
when
up.
that concussion movie come out, they're just gonna outlaw football altogether, so we
I
ain't got to
think
worry about
so.
it.
I think
Yeah.
so, pretty much. But as far as fantasy goes, I think right now, whatever your team is, you're pretty much what it is. I think I would tell people, whatever your strengths are, find that other team. So if you got pretty decent group of receivers, and you're lacking in other spots, and you want to try to make a move, if you're sitting in that 500 range, 4-4, or even at 5-3, and you're looking up at a couple of games behind in the division or something, I would tell you to try to make a move just to get some extra points at other positions. Because I mean, if you're winning and you're winning with the formula that you have, and there's nobody really chasing you, and the luck of the draws just fell your way, that you're running back heavy, and no running backs are just doing enough to make win, then keep your team intact. But I tell people at this point in time of the season, if you find that you're in the middle of the pack and you're hanging on to the last playoff spot or trying to get to the playoff spot. And like for example, with me, in both my leagues, I have elite quarterbacks. And I'm thinking about making a move in both, because in both leagues I have Carson Palmer, but I also have Drew Brees, who started to come on the last 3 to 4 weeks, and I have Aaron Rodgers. And the key is, it's interesting enough, people said he played bad against the Panthers. He got me 40 fantasy points last week, so I don't know what bad is. Maybe just bad because they didn't win the game. But, I am going to look to trade one of those quarterbacks, or in either league, to try to boost. In one league, I really need another receiver and probably a tight end, and then in the second league, I really need a solid receiver as well. So I'm going to look to try to find a team that's pretty receiver heavy, and see if I can actually make some moves by trading those quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So
To kind of piggyback on that, I was saying the same thing to a guy at work the other day. Normally, when I'm good or like kind of really in the hunt of things, top four in the playoff set. Right now I'm still kind of in the top six, but that's a different story. Um, One thing I'm looking to do about this time of the year, like you said, is either figure out exactly where can I get deeper for that late run, as the injuries are going to start really piling up, or I'm looking to consolidate. Whereas, like, okay, like last year, I had a couple of really good squads, and I had some of those bottom feeders where I just was like, well, they're okay, but I don't really get the opportunity to play them. These are guys that are productive, but they don't make it into my lineup.
hmm
So I'm going to be looking to deal them, maybe try and package them up the best I can, and maybe pull in, like, for example, a running back two or another wide receiver two to, maybe clear out that running back three, or to clear out, that wide receiver four. So I might have less depth, but I have more better players.
yeah, no, and that's a good point
And
as far as
you
the
got
depth,
teams that
because
are like on the fringe that they're getting hit by the injuries right now, or they're getting hit by the bye weeks in this last little bit, especially back in the day when we was doing the hell week thing.
hmm
You had that double header, and you're like, how am I going to put a roster together for a double header, much less win on the double header? And that's kind
hmm
of the time to try and make that move. you know I mean, I think sometimes we've also overcomplicated the deal of the trade. It's amazing where it's like, when I went out on two trades in the last 2 weeks, I just said, look, this is what I need. and this is what I'll give up.
Hmm.
And I got more of a response than approaching individuals saying, what do you want for this guy?
Right. Right.
So
Right.
I mean, it's for for those of you in the trade market right now. We got a simple. It's time probably as opposed to like early in the season or in the preseason, simplify that trade lingo.
Hmm.
Have your facts together. Be prepared to discuss the numbers and everything and how it benefits both teams. But if you got a partner out there that really wants to make something happen, they already know the deal.
Right. Right. Now I'm with you on that. Like I said before, if you're not in the playoffs, but you have a chance. I mean, your team is scoring decent points, and you have a chance to get in, and you can make one move, and it's not, at the end of the day, there's only a few games left. You make that
Right.
move now. You make it, and even if you give up something that you didn't really want to give up, if you're getting enough back to put in a decent lineup to try to make that this 2 or 3 game run, it is what it is. You're already out, so why not get in? Like I said, the only question I always tell people is if you, like you said, if you're on top or you're winning your division or you're pretty much in a solid position, then you can think about death, but at the same time, you don't want to jeopardize the winning formula that's working for you. Something you got a mojo going. You got picking the right players at the right time. You're getting the right type of lineups. Everything is lining up. But if you're not in the playoffs and you still care, hey, make that
Well, let's
move.
talk. If you're not in the playoffs at this point, let's say you're fading. You're a two and something, three and something.
Hmm.
Now, at this point, if you're in a non-keeper league, it's like, all right, whatever.
Right.
It's sometimes you get that guy out there, he's gonna enjoy being the spoiler. So okay, play on. If you are in a keeper league, it's already time to start thinking about next year.
Yep. I agree with that. I agree with that.
Um,
I
so
I even thought about going and picking up Jordy Nelson.
yeah, exactly.
I would tell people out there because his injury was early enough that he should be ready for the season opener next year. So I would tell you to consider Benjamin and Jordy Nelson as late pickups if you're in a keeper
right,
league, especially if you're in a two keeper league. If you got a league where you're keeping
especially
two
too.
players, you definitely go pick up Jordy Nelson and Kelvin Benjamin right
Right.
now.
Right.
Right
Um,
now.
or Jamal Charles.
And yeah, Jamal, yep.
If somebody has cut him because it's been so hard out there with these injuries this year. You're seeing normally you like, if this happened to Jamal Charles last year, the guy and you're in a keeper league, the guy's gonna hold on to him,
Hmm.
especially to the end of the year where he might deal him for like a low profile player or even a mid range draft pick
Hmm.
going into the year before. But this year's been so bad, man. You just don't really have the luxury of keeping guys like
Keeping
Jamal
guys, yeah.
Charles. So you had to
Yeah.
go out and get somebody somewhere because everybody's
Yeah.
hurt right now. These guys are out there. If look, if you're in Loserville right now, yeah, go pick them up.
Yeah, the only players I've seen kept, and that was because they still had, will probably will return at one point in time. The only position that I've seen where players have been kept is quarterback. Nobody looked to drop Ben Roethlisberger that quick, but technically speaking, they're not even going to have the luxury of having Ben Roethlisberger for over half a fantasy season. Tony
Hmm.
Romo, I've seen on rosters. Nobody really wanted to drop him because, like you said,
I, I
if
hadn't
your
figured
second
that
court,
one
if you're
out.
well, if you're second, well, but I think you think is this. If it depends on how you pick them up, right? If you were in a league where it's 15 and 12 teams, and you pick them up as your one, you don't want to be stuck with Marcus Mariota every 3 or 4 weeks putting up numbers because that's your
That's
number
true.
two. But if
Yeah, that's
you're in a
true.
league, but if you're in a league with 8 and 10, Romo might be your number two. So at
Right.
that point, I might have gone ahead and dropped them and then took a chance on a guy like a Jameis Winston that might not have gotten drafted, or even a Luke McCown. You know what I'm saying? As far as a person that
But
you can spot check and get hot here and there, but
the flip side of that though,
right.
with like a Ben Roethlisberger and a Romo, they're both going to be back probably after Thanksgiving.
Right. So that's the key. The key is, like I
Oh,
said, they didn't say that they were out for the season, so that's why people were keeping them. But
And
we've
these
also seen
guys,
situations where if Romo was your number two and you had a number one like Aaron Rodgers, Romo got dropped. I
oh
mean,
yeah,
it's as simple as that.
definitely that,
Just to make
definitely
room
that.
for another person. Yeah, just to make
But
room for the next guy.
if you had two tier two quarterbacks, you know, Romo was suspect. But if you were in that situation and you don't have Romo or you kept Romo, I mean, these are guys that are going to be primed for that playoff stretch run. Based on the matchups in the late season. You're looking down the line, and Romo's coming back, and I don't know what the situation with the team will be, but there's gonna be some desperation, and guys are gonna be sent out there, and they're gonna be told to fling it.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah. Before we get off, man, I want to get your opinion. What you think Wes Welker's fantasy value is going to be, if any?
It came up, and nobody seemed like they were really heavy. Let's see in the Double S League. It looks like he's still available.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's
Um,
definitely available in the. Well, yeah, our waiver system is
see,
different in Double S League than the
all
other
right.
leagues,
If
but
Wes Welker had gone to, I don't know, I'm gonna pick a team like
if he had
I,
gone to,
somebody else other than the Rams, because
if he
Wes
went to the,
Welker,
if he had went to the Saints,
they already got they already got guys
they
like
already
that.
got three. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know where he could have gone though. That would have made it.
Maybe like the Jets or something.
Yeah, they
Okay, but
barely
here's the point. Here's what I'm getting at. Um,
because the Rams
Wes
are gonna run the
Welker
ball. They're gonna run the
and
ball.
Tavon Austin are pretty much going to be. They're playing the same sort of short route type game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just as Austin is beginning to become a real fantasy thing,
That's the
right
key.
about the time they bring in Wes Welker, and I see it if Welker is healthy and can get on the field, they'll probably nullify each other a little bit.
Right.
That's my thought.
Okay. Yeah, I would tell
And
you.
then,
I would tell
and of
people.
course,
I
the
would tell
Rams are going to be
people
run first.
they're gonna be run first. I would tell people don't. I mean, you also still playing. I mean, even though San Francisco's team is not good, their defense is playing decently. You still got Seattle's defense. I was just curious because
Yeah,
everybody was
Cardinals
kind of making a
defense.
big deal of him coming back to the league and the concussions and things, but I just don't really see any fantasy value for him at the moment. And
I mean, if you're desperate like I am, because I did have to consider it, I really did. I mean, look, man, I'm gonna tell you what I picked up.
oh, we're gonna leave
Yeah,
on this note.
huh?
Who you pick up? We're gonna leave on this note. Who you
Yeah,
get?
I mean, this is where I'm at, man. I picked up um the Aiken kid from Baltimore and
Okay.
Cole Beasley. That's how beat up I am.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. You had to go with
Yeah,
Cole Beasley now.
I mean, what am I gonna say?
Yeah, you had to go. You had to go with Cole Beasley. It's all good, man.
I mean, and then looking further, looking down at the how the Double S League alone is going. Um, this week, that's pretty much it for the wide receivers. All the other wide receivers, guys that were getting dropped because they're either hurt or weren't doing anything. The only other pick
Yeah.
wide receiver was Darrell Green Beckham.
Mm,
That I
mm,
mean, that's where we're at. And the
mm.
guy that has him is top in the division, I think, or second in his division. And he was dropping Dion Lewis as his hurt. So this is pretty much a depth move for him.
Wow. Yeah.
Right. So basically, if I'm the only action on wide receivers and it's Aiken and Beasley, that lets you know the state of things.
Yeah. But I mean, it is like you said, that time of year. So, I mean, you got to get lucky. You can't win fantasy,
Well, I've
and
been lucky really
I know we were gonna like possibly get into the whole FanDuel DraftKings thing, but
Oh
we don't
yeah.
have a true ruling on it just
Uh,
yet. So, we can save that for next time. We'll even do an impromptu this weekend or something. But
yeah.
but yeah, just like you said, you don't.
It definitely looks like somebody's going to have to take one for the team
Mm-hmm.
with Daly next year and say, hey, look, one of us is going to have to do it so we can
Yeah, I'm thinking.
basically expand the
I
deficit.
was thinking about doing it. I just wanted to. This year was not just wasn't going to line up for me to be able
Yeah,
to do it as like
likewise.
I want to. But no, next year I'm definitely going to consider it and I'll study it and we'll do some things on the show with it and everything. But hey man, I'm about to go hit
Even if
dinner,
we're
man.
late. But yeah. All right then, man.
Appreciate it, y'all looking out. Hit the thumbs up and
Thumbs up. Oh yeah, we're back at it again tonight.
yep, tonight. Get back on Sports Chat. Double S Project in effect. All right, peace out.
All right.
Later.